Okay, we're going to look at an overlooked aspect. The first overlooked aspect of ball carry is your grip on the ball. Sounds really basic, but a lot of people do it wrong. And then we're going to look at the grip into contact, so carry into contact technique. Specifically, the famous bumper bars. What does that mean? How do we do it correctly? The first thing we want always before we go into contact is 2 hands on the ball, like that. We don't want to be tucking under the arm. We want 2 hands on the ball just before contact, otherwise the defence knows, as soon as I tuck the ball, the defence knows I'm probably only going one way, and that's into the defence. We want to keep them guessing, okay? So 2 hands on the ball. Crucially, we need the thumbs into the ball, okay? We don't want our hands all over the ball. We want fingers and thumbs into the ball. I always say to the point where they start to turn white. That's how hard your grip is, okay? So we want real pressure through the thumbs. We don't want a thumbless grip like that. That's a lot weaker grip, okay? If we go thumbless, look how easily the ball comes out. With the thumb, lot stronger grip, okay? So, just before contact, if I'm taking a carry, 2 hands, maybe I've got Theo with me in support. Francois doesn't know if I've got the ball in 2 hands, if I'm going to pass or keep, okay? So that's why we keep in 2 hands. If I do decide to keep, if I decide to carry into Francois, okay, I think we need a few different points in contact with the ball. Okay, so we are going to transition to 1 hand, but only at the last moment, okay? So first thing I want to do is still with my fingers and thumb, is get it into my wrist, bicep, and then really hug it into my pec. So it's up high, okay? It's not down here. If I carry the ball down here or down here, what I'm giving Francois a hook, okay? I'm giving Francois an underhook or an overhook really easily. So that's an underhook or really easy overhook there. I don't want to do that. I want to make it hard for him to get a good grip on me, okay? So I want it up here, and this is where we're strong. When the elbows are in tight, torso's all contracted, okay? That's when we're at our strongest. So wrist, bicep, tuck it into the pec nice and high. Look how secure that ball is, okay? And then the other arm is going to come up. I'm going to have my hand protecting my face here, so that means if Francois goes for a little high tackle, at least I've got this, okay? But the arm, I would say, is close to parallel, okay? So that's parallel, almost parallel, okay? So we're not going into contact like that. We're not going into contact like this, or this. It's just in front with that hand protecting my face, okay? And what I'm going to do is that means the first point of impact with the tackler, especially if it's more of a shoulder impact, is that arm there. So I've just got that tiny bit of security. So you'll notice it's just in front. They're not the same level, and it's certainly not behind, okay? And it's not like this. It's like this nice sharp bit of my arm, okay? So that's our bumper position. So when I do this, what you'll often see people doing when they're practicing their bumpers is trying to generate the power with the arms like that. That's not what we're doing either, because especially that means the ball's going to come away from my chest. The power, when you get into collision, starts in the ground, is developed through the hips, and is expressed through the upper body. Same as a tackle. We're not trying to develop power in a tackle with our upper body. It's through the lower body and expressed through the upper body. Same thing with our bumpers, okay? So look, I'm getting nice and contracted like this into a powerful position, and then I explode like that. But it's not my arms that did that. It's lower body upwards, okay? So it's... Okay? So I'm just going to let Theo just demonstrate against Francois. So tu utilises les jambes, les pieds, les hanches, pas les bras qui fait la force, ok? C'est bon. Okay? Here, a little more in the hips. Okay? Comme ça, Theo. Pas comme ça. Right. Okay. And the other thing we can do, you might have to move for this one, is if we start against the wall comme un entraînement, contre le mur, comme ça, 2 mains, un pas, exploser. Okay? So les talons contre le mur, ouais. Okay? Okay. Bouge pas le bras. Okay? Bouge pas le bras, ça reste le même. Okay? Okay, encore. Okay. Tony, toi tu prends le bouclier, toi tu fais ça. Okay. The reason that we're doing this against the wall is, and with the shield like this, so les deux talons, comme ça. What this means is we can only take 1 step into contact, okay? So we're really working on that last powerful step into contact. What we don't want is to be too far away or too close like this because we've got no power. Same as a tackle. So we want to be like about the distance of a walking step apart. And again, we're going to use the wall to give us a little bit of leverage. Have the ball in 2 hands, tuck it in, and then the bump, the power in the bump, is all created in here. It's not my arms. I'm not pushing like that. There is going to be a little bit of a just because of the force we produced, a little bit of a reaction in the arms, but it's coming from here. So Francois is going to demonstrate 2 hands and explode up. Okay. Mettre les pouces, thumbs. Un peu plus proche. See, when we're doing it, Theo's going backwards because the power we're producing is horizontal, okay? And again, it's all coming from here. That's what we want to do. We should be able to, if we're doing this right, mettre le bouclier horizontal. Right? We should be able to generate quite a lot of power in that last step. Yeah, when we take a carry, we've maybe got 10 meters run up, but we should be able to generate quite a lot of power that direction, okay? And that means putting force into the ground that direction and that direction to make him go in that direction, okay? One more time. Okay, my arms barely moved there. All the power's come from here, but he's gone a meter back. I know it's obviously, he's not resisting, but it's just to demonstrate that force that we're creating, okay? So, little recap, bumpers, 2 hands before contact, fingers and thumbs going white. Then when we're ready to go into contact, get it real nice and tucked in, fingers, thumbs, wrist, bicep, nice and tucked into the pec, nice and high, not down here, not kind of American football grip like that, up like that, and then the bumper's coming across like that, okay? And all the power is from the ground up, being expressed that way, okay? And before anyone comments, no, it's not dangerous. Dangerous would be going like that into his face. That's not what we're doing. What we're trying to do is just protect the ball, get a little bit of security before the ball into this chest and sternum carrying error. Not dangerous, not going to injure anyone before anyone gets in the comments.